The single most important thing we can do is to make sure we've got a world-class education system for everybody. That is a prerequisite for prosperity. It is an obligation that we have for the next generation.
The Springfield Renaissance School is a middle high school, so we start working with kids when they're 11 years old. We are an expeditionary learning school, so we believe in relevance, relationship, and rigor. Those are our 3 R's, and those are the concepts around which we organize our curriculum, our instruction, and our culture. We're a college-bound school. That means that when kids graduate from here, our goal for them is that they are all ready to be successful in college, and that they all have really good college options. 100% of our graduates are accepted to college university. What we're really working on, what our measure of success is going to be what the college completion rate is for our kids.
Renaissance High School is a small public high school that really operates like they're trying to lead the pack in Springfield. It really believes in a small, personalized setting in our mission statements, and really we're about kind of investing the students with the ability to make changes. Like, we would much rather have a case where the students are guiding the lesson or the students are taking action, rather than the teacher just standing in front of the class for 90 minutes and talking while they take notes.
Yeah, I think ideally we strive to create an environment where students can direct a lot of their own learning experiences. We, as teachers, try to discourage this idea of the stage on the stage, where a teacher just pontificates for an hour about their area of expertise. I know in my classroom, it's often pretty noisy. Because there's a lot of student dialogue around lab procedures, around solving chemistry and math problems, around grappling with texts. There's a lot of students teaching, and so I think it's a fun and rigorous culture.
I think Renaissance really creates an environment of trust. Like, there's a lot of trust that's invested in the students to do their best work, and we're really trying to impel the students into pushing themselves as hard as they can go. And I think the students recognize that trust that the faculty is putting into them, and they're a lot more willing to trust each other and trust their faculty to have their best interests at heart.
Well, Renaissance is an expeditionary learning school, so for one thing it follows a specific school model with different structures that we have, like crew and intensives and learning expeditions. The number one thing, though, that when I describe our school, it sets us apart is the school culture. I think that the culture of our school is really incredibly positive. The students are held to a very high degree of behavior and attitude, and are encouraged and supported to work as hard as they can to be the best student and the best person that they can be. And the teachers really get the same level of support as well. So I think that positive school culture makes us who we are.
Renaissance is all about college, and I think that is prevalent 6 through 12, which is really great. So it's an environment of very high expectations. We have high standards. We expect our kids to meet them behaviorally and academically, knowing that the ultimate goal is to be accepted into a college.
When I was in high school, and this is like the question that every student asks in school, when are we going to need to know this? And so the students that graduate from Renaissance are not going to use every single thing that they learn at Renaissance. That's true. However, there is a lot of application for what you learn in high school and college into the real world. And so what an expedition does, ideally, and what the learning at a place like Renaissance does ideally, is help students to make those connections and help understand not only when they're going to use it, but get good at that stuff. So, I would expect of the 86 students that I have this year, 5 are going to become connected to the world of science on a professional level, hopefully more than that, but I know of probably 5 right now that want to do it in college and for a career. And they're going to use, hopefully they're going to look back at this experience of being in my class and say, oh yeah, we studied cells and we did some research, some real research that connected to our community. And we met people in the community that were real scientists, and I was inspired by those people to become, you know, a biologist or a chemist or a biology teacher or a psychologist or whatever.
This is a note that was left on my phone yesterday by a kid named Trevor. Trevor graduated from here in 2011. Trevor was absolutely a 5-year project. And 4 years after graduating, he is a proud member of the United States Army. He's got a family. He's making a life for himself and his family in the world. And I think that being a part of young people moving on and becoming, you know, happy, fulfilled, productive human beings, the kinds of people that you want to live next door to, the kind of folks that you want coaching your kids, you know, baseball team or helping to clean up the neighborhood or something like that. I think that's the most rewarding thing for me. And it's been great to be here for 10 years and to kind of watch that progression of kids.
The greatest amount of pride that I'm going to experience as a Renaissance teacher is probably when my crew marches across during decision day and each of them declare which college they'll be attending next year. And so far, college acceptances have been rolling in for my crew as early as November. And it has just created this tremendous amount of pride, not only in the schools that they're getting into and the financial aids that schools are throwing at them, but also my students' reactions, and that everyone realizes that when Ashley Nicole Morales Garcia gets into Smith or Holy Cross, or when Olivia Brown gets into Emory, or when Zach Holland gets into UMass Amherst. These aren't just victories for them, it's also a victory for the crew, because that is a crew success. And everyone, regardless if you're getting into HCC or Harvard, is going to be celebrated.
The one thing that this year has really struck me about being a teacher here at Renaissance and has made me happy is my 12th grade crew. I've never felt like this, just excited about kids getting into college. I've had them since they were 9th graders, and I've known many of them since they were 8th graders, and it makes me so happy. I feel like a proud parent every time they get into college and every time they get a financial aid package, and it's one of the happiest points of my day.
Beyond the statistic, though, I can say that the countless little miracles that I'm a part of, whether it's a student, you know, or just around student growth, you know, whether it's a student who was like, you know, getting Fs and suddenly it turns it around and it's getting solid grades, or the student who, you know, has the courage to tackle some, you know, interpersonal problem or emotional challenge, and being a part of all those things, it really is what gets me up in the morning. I'm always excited to come to work because I think just human growth is just like a really cool thing to be a part of.
Our mission
is to provide a rigorous
academic program for college-bound students
in a small, personalized setting
that impels
and supports students
to use their minds well,
to care for themselves and others,
and to rise to the challenges and duties of citizenship.